So go ahead and find yourself a seat. Start to breathe a little more length into your spine and the back of your neck. Bring your right hand onto your heart and your left hand right over that. See if as you close your eyes and take this inhale that you can feel this invitation to go inward, dropping down into the heart. See if you can be right there in the heart, not in the head. Feel this little inner smile, just welcoming anything that might be coming up for you. Not trying to stop the thoughts or change anything, just welcoming whatever's coming, saying, I see you, and using that little inner smile to soften around the heart, in the jaw, in the shoulders. Start to breathe a little deeper. Breathing through the nose. Seeing how long you can make each breath last. And seeing if you can find a pause between the inhale and the exhale. So this week, I'm kind of talking about one of the beautiful lessons I think in this whole mess is just learning to sit with the uncertainty. Most things are pretty uncertain in this realm, this world. But we kind of create a facade a lot of the time to feel like some sense of security within our relationships or our bank accounts or a job. And it's okay. It's just what we do as humans. And I think it's good because it allows us to evolve, because we're not always looking over our shoulder for an animal about to eat us, because we create these little safe places. And even though we know they'll return to dust in time, they make us feel safe enough to relax a little bit, right? To be able to do our yoga and our breathing and to think deeply about things. I think it's why we were able to evolve to this place of being spiritual and compassionate. And I think that that's ultimately what we're craving when we are seeking that realm, the spirituality or religion. We're looking for that piece of us that is certain, right? And instead of just knowing that the only thing certain is that truth about us, what we are forevermore, the eternal part of us that never dies. And if we connect more with that part, instead of trying to make anything in this physical realm feel secure or certain, if we can just sit with that uncertainty, knowing that all things are unstable. Eckhart Tolle says all structures are unstable. And if we can find peace with that, we can seriously reduce the amount of suffering in our own lives. And reducing the amount of suffering in our own lives is the only way we can truly emulate peace into the world. All right, we can pray for peace all day, we can send out that thought. But if we are inflicting suffering on ourselves or the people around us, then we are part of the problem. Even if it's just minuscule and it's just once in a while and it's just totally justified and he totally deserved it, we still are inflicting a little bit of unnecessary suffering, even though all we want to emulate is peace out into the world. Today, we're going to think about our body as like an instrument, okay? A very expensive, intricate, complex instrument. And it's like an instrument you've never seen before. You're very curious about this instrument and how it works. And I want you to tap into that curiosity, just imagining that this instrument is your vessel to bring that other dimension of love and light, the part of you that is eternal, into this world, this dimension of form. And sometimes it needs some serious tuning. Sometimes we get a bunch of tension up in places that doesn't allow the energy to move properly. And then we just kind of get stuck in these little patterns. And so just like use your imagination and imagine that you're seeing this instrument for the first time without any emotional attachment or association to it. And we're going to start with this breathing exercise. So we're going to bring our hands up, and our pointer finger and our middle finger are going to rest here on our brows. Our ring finger is going to rest lightly on the lids of our eyes. We're going to hold them lightly closed. And the pinkies will touch lightly against the nostrils, not obstructing the flow of air. Eventually, our thumbs are going to go in our ears to block out the sound, but don't do that yet, because I want to keep talking for a minute, okay? So imagine that your hands are also these really skilled tools for fine-tuning this instrument. And imagine this just like little tiny light healing touch is able to dissipate some of that tension we hold here in the eyes and the eyebrows. And see if you can let this touch be really healing and soothing and feel it lightening things up, tuning things up. When we start to breathe, we're going to place our thumbs in our ears to block out all sound. We're going to inhale through the nose and fill all the way up. We're going to keep the mouth closed and exhale with an audible humming, kind of hollowing out the mouth like that instrument and feeling that vibration in the mouth and the teeth, maybe even all over the body. You might notice when you do that humming sensation, you'll become more aware of that inner body, that feeling of aliveness that you can feel in your fingers. And if the sound you make the first time doesn't feel right, then you want to change it up and try something lower. Trying to find that right vibration or frequency that is in your best interest today, okay? So you can change it every time. You don't have to match the pitch every time. Just do what feels right. Don't worry about how it sounds because you're all on mute. Okay, so when you're ready, place those thumbs into the ears. Keep that nice little light touch. Inhale through the nose and fill all the way up. Exhale through the nose audibly with that hum. As long as you can keep it going, keep it going. Notice how it makes you a little more aware of that energy body. Inhaling through the nose, a little length into the spine. As long as you can inhale, keep it going. One more time. Lower your hands down. And now we're going to come into a child's pose, letting the center of your forehead rest on the ground or the mat. So again, that point of contact where the forehead is touching the ground, see if you can use that as a little fine-tune adjustment. Feel that little softening. It's just a little reminder to soften there so we can let the energy and the vibration move through that area a little bit more. See if you can stay connected to that feeling of the inner body, that aliveness in your hands, your face. Slowly walk it over to the right, lengthening out the whole left side of the body. Maybe placing the left hand on top of the right. Let your forehead rest. Melting through the heart and the shoulders. If you come back into the head, see if you can find that little inner smile, that welcoming, and drop back into that heart space and stay here. Slowly walk it back through center and over to the left. Maybe placing that right hand on top of the left now, forehead resting. Rooting back through that right sit bone. Inhale, a little more length into the whole right side. Fill all the way up. Exhale, see what you can let go of here. Slowly come back to center. And now come up onto the fingertips, lifting the wrists up off the ground to come up on tented fingertips. Leave your forehead resting. Really opening the shoulders now. Slowly come back up. Now we're gonna lift the knees up off the ground. So your feet are together, you're sitting back on your heels and you're lifting the knees up off the ground. We're trying not to lean way back here. We're trying to keep the shoulders over the hips. If you don't need the hands for balance, you can bring your hands to your heart. But if they help you to stay grounded and lift the knees a little higher, then keep them down. Find your breath, inhale, a little more length into the spine. If your knees don't lift, it just means your ankles are really tight. So just keep the motion of trying to lift them will give you the same benefit. That's just where you're at today. One more breath. And slowly release. Come onto your hands and your knees. Remember to keep that curiosity here, like you're using this instrument for the first time. Now place your hands down really mindfully. All right, just like every little part, if you've ever played an instrument, it's very specific. Everything has to be done just right. So imagine that each finger needs to press the exact same pressure here. And with that awareness, really activating the hands, activating the arms. See if you can feel the motion of shining the heart forward and rolling the shoulders back. Then look down to keep the back of the neck parallel to the ground and nice and long. Inhale, drop the belly down, shine the heart forward, fill all the way up with this inhale. Exhale, start this at the tailbone, tuck the tailbone under, and then feel that ripple all the way through till the chin is tucked into the chest. See how long you can make each breath and each move last. Feeling this wave-like motion coming over your spine. If you ever feel compelled to make that audible noise on the exhale, feel free to do that. It might show you where you're holding tension. And when you're ready, come on up, downward facing dog. Really engaging those hands, lifting those sit bones up and back for the first time. And breathing a little more length into your spine, your arms, the back of your legs. Slowly walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Shake your head a little bit. Draw the shoulders out of your ears. Find your breath. Now lower your booty back behind your knees and stand up into a chair pose. Trying to keep the knees over the ankles, drawing the upper body back, trying to stack shoulders over hips. Maybe hands come together. Maybe you gaze up at the thumbs. Reach up out of the waist a little more. Feel the heart lifting and the shoulders melting. Soften your face. Stand up. Find a little backward bend. Press down into the feet. Lift the heart. Exhale, hands to heart. And hands down by your sides. Again, lower the booty back behind the knees. So knees don't move. They stay stacked over ankles. Just booty lowers back, back, back. Reach forward and up. Pull the belly in and up. On the exhale, lower down another inch. Sink a little weight into the heels. On the exhale, lower down another inch. Inch by inch, we're going to lower all the way to the ground. If you need to use your hands, To soften the fall, you can. We'll come into a boat pose. Squeeze the legs together, reach up through the balls of the feet. Feel the strength in your body as you squeeze the legs together and reach out past the toes. Draw the belly in and up, lift the heart. Stay with your breath. Now keep hugging everything into center as you lengthen out to a hover. Keep reaching for the feet, keep reaching through the balls of the feet and looking at the feet. And release, hug your knees into your chest. Move however it feels good here, maybe just rocking side to side a little bit. Let your left leg go long. Move slowly, all right? Like this delicate, expensive instrument. We're just figuring out how it works. Kick out through that heel. Hug that right knee in towards the right armpit. Hug the elbow. Oh, babe. Babe, are you inside? Oh, thanks. I didn't want to burn my cookies. So hug that knee in. Relax the shoulders down into the ground. Tuck the chin a little bit. Keep kicking through that left heel. Now use your right hand to guide the right knee open. Keep looking straight up at the ceiling so the neck stays long and straight. If the left hip is trying to get up off the ground, use your left hand to ground it. Keep kicking through the left heel. Keep breathing. Wherever you feel that tension, take the breath there. If it helps, make that audible. Bring that knee through the center line, hand it off to the left hand, find a spinal twist. Right arm either reaches straight out perpendicular to the body or bent at 90 like a cactus. Gaze out at that right hand. Relax your shoulders. Notice how you just relaxed them, but there's still quite a bit of room to relax them a little bit more. Each exhale, relaxing one more little layer. Even just this here is reducing the optional suffering. We hold this tension in our body, and sometimes it takes a couple breaths or a couple minutes even to realize the extent of it, using each breath to soften just a little bit more, giving yourself permission to unwind. Slowly come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Hug your forehead in to touch your knees. Squeeze everything in real tight. And then let the right leg go long. Keep kicking through that heel. Squeeze that knee in towards the left armpit. Squeeze the body with the elbows. Tuck the chin a little bit. Shoulders into the mat. Anytime you notice you go back to the head, back to thoughts, just do that little inner smile, that welcoming, that softening, and try to drop back into your heart space. Use the left hand to guide the left knee open. Maybe right hand helps ground that right hip. Find a little more length in the back of your neck. Keep kicking through the right heel. Bring that knee across the body, hand it off to the right hand. Find that spinal twist and use each exhale to unravel a little bit more. Feel the shoulders actually melting in a little deeper as they sink into the mat. Slowly hug your knees into your chest, hug your forehead in to touch your knees, squeeze everything into a tight little ball. Buddy, I think you have to move off my mat. Pigs, get off my mat. Now we're gonna start to rock the whole length of the spine a couple times. Maybe your toes come to touch the ground behind your head and you roll all the way up to a seat a couple times. Watch out, buddy. Watch out, buddy. Get off my mat. Get out of here. Get out of here. When you're ready, we'll rock all the way up to a chair pose. If you need to use your hands to get your booty off the ground, it's okay. Reach your arms forward and up. Pull your belly in, sink into your heels, reach up out of the waist. Feel the heart lifting and the shoulders melting. And now slowly lift the right knee up as you straighten the left leg. Kick the right heel forward, draw the toes back towards your face. Try to get the right leg parallel to the ground. All right, now just like the whole left foot is pressing down into the ground, imagine the whole right foot is pressing into the computer screen, both feet pressing equally to engage both quads equally. Find your breath. Now hinge at the hips and lean forward till your upper body's parallel to the ground, leg is parallel to the ground. Flex the foot, point the toes down and slightly in. Level the hips by lifting the left hip and lowering the right hip. Kick back through the heel, reach forward. And step back into that chair pose. Drop into your heels, sink in a little deeper. Notice the energy starting to move through your body a little more freely. Invite that. Slowly lift the left knee, straighten the right leg. Kick the left leg out, kick through the heel, draw the toes back, try to engage both quads. Really press that whole foot forward, just like you're pressing the right foot down. Hinge at the hips, everything parallel to the ground. Level the hips out, toes point down and in. In any balancing pose, trying to feel both your legs doing the same thing will really help with balance. Step back into your chair pose, sink into the heels, sink in a little lower. Find your breath. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step back to plank. Find that nice long line of energy. Really activate the hands, fine tuning here. Feel the heart shine forward and shoulders roll back. It's just a subtle movement. See if you can create any more length in the back of your neck. Imagine hollowing the belly out like that's the innards of the instrument here, trying to create space in there for sound, for vibration, for energy to move through. Rock forward onto your toes and slowly lower all the way down. Untuck your toes, hands under shoulders, elbows hugging in tight, elbows reaching back towards the feet. Press into the feet, inhale the heart forward and up. Roll the shoulders back. Again, elbows hug in against the body and reach back towards the feet. Feel that little forward pull of the heart, using the hands to pull the heart forward. Press into the feet to lift the heart up. If this feels like too much, then each exhale, lower all the way back down to the ground, really slowly. If you feel ready for this, then each inhale will lift you a little higher as you start to press into the hands. Try to keep the glutes soft, shoulders soft, back of the neck long. Maybe you start to straighten into the arms. You're still pressing into the feet and pulling the heart forward and up. Maybe you get the arms nice and straight here. One more time, soften the back side. Now really, really slowly, like that expensive, delicate instrument, lay it back down. Curl the toes under, press up to plank, and lift back up, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up, keep your foot flexed, keep your hips in line. So feel how the left heel's pressing down and right heel's pressing up equally. See if you can engage both quads equally. See if you can lift the left hip a little bit, lowering the right hip to draw those hips into the same plane. Come up on the tippy toes. Exhale, bring your knee all the way to touch your nose, and then step it all the way through like crescent lunge. Set it up, knee over ankle, shoulders over hips, sink in. Get both hips facing forward, draw the low belly in and up. Lift up out of the waist. Press the right knee straight forward, left heel straight back. Maybe hands come together and you gaze up at the thumbs. Find your breath. Slowly lower the left knee all the way down to the ground. Plant the left hand down, untuck the back toes, roll the right shoulder back to open the heart up towards the ceiling or the sky. Keep reaching through the right fingertips, gazing up at the right fingertips, right knee pressing straight forward. Trying to peel that left hip flexor open a little here. You'll feel that more as we lift up and drop the right hand to the left thigh. Keep sinking into the right knee and drawing the right hip back. Stay for one more breath. Lower your hands down, curl the left toes, and straighten both legs if you can, lifting the hips up and back. So both hips are still facing forward. Maybe you can tuck the chin towards the chest and touch the forehead to the leg. Maybe you can draw the right toes off the ground, drawing them back towards the face and sink back into the left heel a little bit. Find your breath. Now moving really, really slowly. Inhale, bend, lower the right foot, bend deeply into the right knee. Shine the heart forward, roll the shoulders back. One more sip. Exhale, lift the hips, straighten the legs. Maybe those toes lift off the ground too. Inhale slowly. Exhale, lift it up. One more time. And now we're going to step the left foot in a couple of feet like pyramid pose. So now your right toes are forward, left toes are kicked out at 45, but both your hips are still face forward. Bring your hands to your hips and slowly come up. So just 2 to 3 feet between your feet here. See if you can bring your hands into prayer behind your back. If that doesn't work for you, just press your fists together back there as high as you can get them. If that doesn't work for you either, just grab your elbows, no problem. Press down into the feet. Really activating the feet here. Feel this hinge at the hips. Now lengthen forward over that straight right leg. Maybe you can tuck the chin to the chest and start to touch the forehead to the leg here. See if you can get your hips the same height. You might need to press a little more weight down into the right foot to help lift the right hip up and back. Soften the shoulders out of the ears. Find your breath. Slowly lower the hands down, step the left foot forward into that chair pose. Drop your weight into the heels. Reach forward and up. Sink in a little deeper. Pull the belly in and up, reach up. Sink down just a little bit lower. Press into the feet, stand up, find a little backward bend. Exhale, hands to heart. And hands down on your hips. Lift the right leg up. Get it parallel to the ground. Kick through the heel, draw the toes back towards the face. Find that equality, pressing the same down into the left foot as you are forward through the right foot. Engaging both quads evenly. Engage your core. Feel that'll help you lift a little higher. Now point and flex. Keep inhaling length into your spine. Point and flex. One more time. And now bend the knee. Bring your foot back behind you. Grab your ankle from the inside, right on your ankle bone. Bring your knees together to start. Reach your left arm up. Really reach up out of the waist. Keep all that length as you hinge forward. Drawing your shoulders into one line from front to back. Keep your fingertips about eyebrow level. If you're on even ground, this will be a lot easier. So instead of opening your right hip up out to the right, see if you can keep dropping that right hip and right knee, lifting the left hip to level the hips out. Now kick up and back into that hand as hard as you can. Reach forward a little bit more. Find your breath. Stay with it. Slowly release. Spread your feet as wide as your mat. Turn your toes out just a little bit. Bring your hands to your low back, bend the knees, press the hips forward, lift the heart, drop the head back if it's all right with the neck. If that's too much, keep your chin drawing in towards your chest. Bend your knees. Inhale, slowly come up. Step your feet a little closer together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Meeting back in downward facing dog. All right, inhale, lifts the left foot. Keep it flexed, keep your hips in line. Feel the heels pressing evenly. Right heel pressing down, left heel pressing up. Come up on the tippy toes. Exhale, draw the knee to the nose and step it through like crescent lunge. Knee over ankle, shoulders over hips, hips facing forward. See if there's anything you can just fine tune, straighten or adjust. Maybe tweaking that knee to make sure it's pointed straight forward, or right heel drawing straight back. See if you can find any more space, any more length. Lower the right knee all the way down. Untuck the toes. Plant the right hand down, stack the shoulders, gaze up at the left hand. Keep rolling that left shoulder back. Keep drawing the left hip back. Try to find that little opening in the right hip flexor by drawing the left hip back a little more. Feel that even more as you come up. Left hand finds right thigh. Bend into the left knee, reach up, fill up. One more breath. Lower the hands to the ground, curl the right toes under. Lift the hips and straighten the legs. Try to sink back into the right heel. Keep your hips facing forward. Maybe left toes start to draw back towards the nose. Pull the belly in and up. Maybe start to tuck the chin, forehead coming down towards the leg. Now moving really slowly with your breath. Inhale, bend the left knee, shine the heart forward. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale, lift the hips, straighten the legs. Maybe toes draw back towards the nose. 2 more with your own breath. See how long you can make it last. See how slow you can go. Okay, this time step the right foot in a little closer like pyramid pose. Kick it out to 45. Bring your hands to your hips. Slowly come up. Make sure they're both faced forward. Really fire up the feet, pressing down into the feet. Maybe your hands can come into prayer back here, or just fists together up high as you can. Press into the feet. Feel this hinge at the hips, just like a machine or an instrument here. Feel that? That's just the pivot point. All right. Feel that actual hinge as you come forward, lengthening forward. Draw the belly in and up out of the way. Tuck the chin. Maybe forehead comes to the leg. Maybe you need to press into the left foot a little more to help lift the left hip up and back a little more. Slowly lower the hands down, step the right foot forward, chair pose, sink into the heels, lower that booty back, reach forward and then up. Each exhale, lower the booty down another inch, eventually coming all the way back down to boat pose. Use your hands if you need to. Take your time. Be gentle. Find that strength, find a little more length, find your breath. Keep hugging everything into center line as you lengthen out to a hover. If you're wondering about my little extra in the middle right now, I can share some secrets with you. Quarantine diet that consists of mostly sourdough bread and cookies. So if you're interested, I'll keep you posted after class, all right? Slowly release, hug your knees into your chest and move however it feels good. Maybe just rocking side to side across the spine. We're just gonna lay the legs out long and have a little mini shavasana here, just to drop back into the heart space and have a little rest. See if you can feel that energy body, that tingling in your hands. See if you can use your breath and your awareness to soften that area in the face. And when you're ready, hug your knees into your chest. Start to rock the length of your spine. Maybe toes touch the ground back there behind your head. When you're ready, rock all the way up to that chair pose, sinking weight into your heels. Has anybody else just been eating like bread and cookies since they've been home? Baking is my new hobby. I've never baked before in my life, but it's kind of fun. Sourdough's pretty fun too. That's a good lesson also in learning to sit with uncertainty. It's like always completely different and you have no idea if it's going to turn out or what it's going to be like. So that's been a fun one. All right, slowly lift the right leg, straighten the left leg, kick out through the right heel, draw the toes back. Find that balance by engaging both legs equally. Hinge at the hips, shoot the right leg back till everything's parallel to the ground. Find a little more length. Level the hips out. Plant the left fingertips in front of the left toes. Roll the right arm up like you're drawing a bow. Stack the shoulders. Now point the toes towards the long edge of the mat so you can stack the hips here. Press back through the heel. Lift the leg till it's parallel and then roll the right hip back to stack it on top of the left. Roll the right shoulder back to stack it on top of the left. Find a little more length from your heel to your crown. We're going to slowly stand all the way up to reverse warrior. Left knee stays deeply bent. Left hand reaches up and back. And now slowly come up on the back toes as the right hand spins down to the ground. Left arm rolls up. Roll to the outside of the right foot. Sweep the left foot back, side plank. Lift your hips a little higher. Reach the left hand towards the top of the mat. Come down to plank and lower through chaturanga. Meeting back in downward facing dog. Shift your gaze up between your hands, bend your knees and walk or hop to the top. Inhale, lift up halfway, and exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Be big, fill up. Exhale, hands to heart. And hands down by your sides. Actually onto your hips, yeah? Kick the left foot forward. Oh, where are all these wasps coming from, Jenny? Find that equality in your quads. That pressing equal energy down through the right foot, out through the left foot. Find your strength, use your core. Hinge at the hips, tip forward. Everything parallel to the ground. Toes point down and slightly in, lengthen out. Plant the right fingertips, roll the left arm up, stack the shoulders, stack the hips. Foot is flexed, press back through the heel, gaze up at the left hand. A little more space from heel to crown. Right knee doesn't move. Bend it deeply as you come all the way up to reverse it. Now we swim down, planting the left hand, coming up on the left toes. Stack the shoulders, press the right knee forward. Roll to the outside edge of the left foot, sweep the right foot back, side plank. Press down into the left hand, lift the hips. Reach that right arm up alongside the ear towards the top of the mat. Come down to plank, lower through chaturanga. Meeting back in downward facing dog. Good job, guys. Okay, we're gonna come down to the knees. We're gonna work on headstands. If there's a different arm balance or inversion in your practice, feel free to do that now. All right. If you don't feel like being on camera because you don't really have a practice like this in your wheelhouse, you can easily step outside of the camera range and just do your own thing. If you don't feel, so the only way you're gonna do an arm balance or an inversion where all of your weight is on your hands or your shoulders is if you're feeling like super fantastic today, okay? If you even have to question it, don't do it, okay? And so that's why I like headstands a lot, because it's less pressure on your wrists and shoulders that aren't really meant to be weight bearing. Not saying your head is meant to be weight bearing, but it just seems like a lot less pressure. But same thing, if you have any tension at all in your neck, you will not do a headstand, okay? So check in, be honest with yourself. And if you want to do a headstand, if you already have one in your practice, get right into it. If you want, I will show you a way to get into headstands. You can watch if you like, or you can just do your thing here. If you want to try it this way, you can get the right spacing for your hands. They'll look just like down dog. And then you lower the elbows back behind the hands. And then that's how you'll know the right spacing to cradle the hands. The cradle will cradle the back of your head. It's the very top of your head that will sit on the mat. And then you'll curl the toes, straighten the legs, and walk your feet in as close as you can. And then you'll lift the right leg up. Try to keep your hips in line. Come up on the tippy toes and see if you can just float up. See if you can engage that part of your core that you would need to strengthen to be able to come up with no momentum here. If you need to use the hands on the mat, that's fine too. Just make sure the head and the hands are in a triangle where your head is the point of the triangle. And then see about getting upside down. If you don't feel like going upside down today, but you still want to get that benefit of draining the blood out of your feet and your legs, just lift your legs straight up towards the ceiling. Now see if you can remember all the other things, even if you're upside down. That softness through the face, softness through the shoulders, that deep, slow, rhythmic flow, like music with your breath. So even if you just think about the fine tuning, to be able to move the breath through you in a more melodic way. See if you can hear that breath as that music with that nice steady pace. And when you finish here, we'll come into a child's pose. Take your time. If you're doing something, you still got a minute. So my first sourdough loaf, I made a starter, and then I was making all these biscuits and pizza crust, but I hadn't made a loaf yet. But I made my first loaf a couple days ago, and it looked beautiful. It wasn't really good. Like it's good for sandwiches and stuff, but it wasn't like the kind of bread you just want to eat a piece of, which is also kind of nice, right? But it was perfect for French toast. Oh my God. But I made a new loaf last night, and it's even better. It's so good. I normally don't even eat stuff like that, like bread. I guess they say the sourdough is okay because the fermented stuff eats the gluten. I don't think it's gluten-free, but I'm just telling myself it's healthy, okay? Okay, from that child's pose, let's slide out onto the belly. Bring your arms out to the sides like airplane wings. Zip your toes and heels together. Squeeze your knees and thighs together. Inhale, lift everything up off the mat. All right, squeeze the legs together. Draw the hands back a little bit and lift them up a little higher to lift the heart a little higher. Find a little more length in both directions and lift up one more time. Now bend the knees and grab the ankles from the outside, right on the ankle bones. Try to keep the knees in line with the hips and not splaying out too much. Kick up and back into the hands. You can start to look up a little bit, but keep that softness in the back of your neck so it's not all crunched up. One more kick. And release. Straighten your right leg straight out to the side perpendicular to your body. Bring your right ear down to the mat. Plant your left hand right in front of your face with the elbow pointed up at the ceiling. Can you see me? And turn onto the right side, bringing the left foot flat on the ground somewhere behind that right knee. Start to open that right shoulder. Use your breath and your awareness to soften all that tissue, everything touching the mat there. If you don't feel this one a lot, reach your left hand straight up towards the ceiling. Keep it there if this works for you, or you can tuck it back behind your back or even reach it out towards that right hand, eventually maybe interlacing fingers back there. Keep using your exhale to soften the shoulder, soften the neck. If you notice thoughts coming back, find that little inner smile, welcome whatever it is, and drop back into the heart space. Slowly roll back onto the belly and straighten that left arm out to the side. Left ear down, Right palm plants, right elbow points straight up, roll to the left side, plant the right foot, open that left shoulder. Yeah, if you don't feel this a lot, right arm reaches straight up or maybe tucks behind the back or reaches out for that left arm. Slowly roll back onto the belly and come back up onto the knees. Sit onto the left hip. Straighten the right leg out in front. Chevy's hot. He's just looking for shade. One shady spot to the next. So left foot flat on the ground, a couple inches from your glute, a couple inches from your thigh, yeah? Kick out through that right heel. We're gonna turn and twist to the left, finding a spinal twist. Planting the left fingertips at the base of the spine to lengthen, reach the right hand up. Hook the elbow outside the knee, make sure the knee stays pointed straight up. And then gaze out over the left shoulder. Draw the left shoulder back more and twist your spine open, all right? This is one of the fine-tune adjustments you usually find towards the end of class because everything is nice and warm and you can wring out your spine, okay? Inhale a little more length into your spine. And then exhale, go ahead and twist your spine open. Use that leverage. Find more length out through the right heel, up through the crown, chin is parallel to the ground. On the exhale, invite the shoulders and the face to soften. And after you've emptied all the air, you'll find a little more space to twist into. One more breath, make it count. Slowly come back to center and straighten the left leg out. Bring the right foot in flat, couple inches, kick to the left heel. Start to turn to the right, plant that right hand to lengthen, reach the left hand up. Look elbow outside knee for leverage. Use that leverage. Gaze back at the right shoulder. Pull the right shoulder back more and twist. Slowly come back to center. Kick out through both heels. Now press your hands into the ground like you're gonna lift your booty up off the ground. Maybe your booty does lift up off the ground. All right, lift the heels up off the ground, press the quads down into the ground. Draw your low belly in and up. Imagine your chest is reaching up towards your chin and your chin is reaching down towards your chest. You're lengthening the arms and the back of the neck, kind of engaging everything here. See if you can engage that Mula Bandha. Kick out through the heels a little more, engage your quads a little more, lengthen up through the crown. And release the arms, reach them up. Use them to get a little taller. Keep all that length as you hinge forward, grabbing whatever you can. One more time, lift the heart, lengthen through the crown. Now pull the heart down towards the feet. Drop the shoulders down out of the ears. Find these subtle little adjustments using your awareness and your breath. And imagine that even this most subtlest little adjustment here is really going to change the way the energy, the vibration moves through this instrument. Sometimes like all the things we need to do or need to change feel overwhelming. When you just look at them like little fine-tune adjustments that really can have a huge impact on the quality of that sound or that vibration. And look at it as everything is just this little tiny fine-tune adjustment. So you can find that frequency that resonates with your highest truth or with you finding peace. Maybe some days it's like a and some days it's like a and that's okay. Slowly come back up. Bring your feet flat on the ground, reach your hands forward, And like that really, really expensive, fragile instrument, slowly lay it back down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Let your left leg go long. Interlace the fingers around the right knee. Hug it into the right armpit. Tuck your chin. Body with your elbows. Really squeeze that knee in towards the right shoulder one more time. Kick out through the left heel. And now use your right hand to guide your right knee open to the right, or interlace your peace sign, fingers around your big toe, and straighten the right leg out towards the side. Maybe your left hand is helping to ground that left hip. Look straight up at the ceiling to keep the neck long and straight. Keep kicking through the left heel. Relax your face. Relax your shoulders. Slowly come back to center, bending that knee. Hand it off to the left hand. Find that spinal twist. Right arm straight out or bent at 90. Gazing out at the right hand. See how long you can make this breath last. See how much you can let go on the exhale. Finding that subtle little inner smile, that softening, dropping into the heart space one more time. Slowly come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. And let your right leg go long. Interlace fingers around the left knee. Hug it in real tight. Keep kicking through the right heel. Squeeze the body with the elbows. Tuck the chin a little bit and squeeze. Left hand guides left knee open to the left, or peace sign fingers around big toe. Straighten that leg out. Keep kicking through the right heel. Keep the right hip grounded if you can. Draw the shoulders down. Tuck the chin. Slowly come back through center, bending that knee. Hand it off to the right hand. Left arm straight out or bent at 90. Gaze out at that left hand. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Slowly come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. One last time. And let your legs go long on the mat. Spread your feet as wide as the mat. Let your toes fall open. One last time, tuck the chin a little bit to lengthen the back of the neck. You can have your hands by your sides with your palms facing up, or one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. If your hands are on your body, use them as just that little gentle reminder to soften there. Feeling that love, that healing touch. So now we let go of controlling the breath. We let go of controlling anything. And just finding that trust or faith that everything's going to be okay. But even though there's a lot of uncertainty and you don't know exactly how anything's going to work out, just knowing that it is. I think it's when we can do that, when we can know that, have that faith and that trust, that when we connect deeply with that part of ourselves that is certain. Because ultimately that part of you knows that even when this body stops breathing, that you're still going to be okay. It makes it easier to know that no matter what happens in this realm of form, of flesh, you're still okay. Tapping into that deeper part of yourself is what will bring peace to this dimension. See if you can give yourself permission to let go even more than you thought possible. Imagine I could look at you and say, okay, you're still holding 14 notches of tension in your shoulders. With each exhale, I want to physically see another layer dissipate as you let your body melt and really let go. Feel the weight of your head and neck and shoulders really supported by the ground. One more time, find that little inner smile, that welcoming, drop into the heart space and see how much you can let go here. Invite a deeper breath back into your body. And before you invite movement back, imagine that you just purchased this very expensive, intricate instrument, and you still have no idea how to use it. You just got a little bit of training on how to fine tune it, and you're really excited. Be curious to just play with this a little bit and imagine you don't quite know how to use this instrument fully yet, but just looking at everything, every opportunity, as an opportunity to find these little fine-tuned adjustments, what works, what doesn't, so you can use it to find your highest truth. So find that curiosity as you come back to that awareness of the inner body. And see if you can come to that beginner's mind as you start to come back to a seat. Just use your imagination for a while. If you can, stay in this space and just imagine like, oh, I have a spine. Oh, I have arms. Oh, I hold tension here. I don't need to. See if you can just play that for a little while, giving yourself permission to be playful. So I've been saying it a lot lately. Many of you have heard it a bunch of times, but I just always like to bring this up before our little prayer for peace, because I know that we all want so badly to send out this idea of peace into the world. I see it in all of you. You want it so badly to send it out there. But unless we are doing the fine-tune adjustments to make sure that we are not inflicting suffering on ourselves and the people we love, then it's just kind of an empty, nice thought, nice gesture. But the only way we can really emanate that peace out into the world is by doing the fine-tune adjustments we need to do to opt out of the optional suffering that we inflict on ourselves and others. All right. So let's end with our final prayer for peace with that in mind. Bring your hands up to that space above your eyebrows. May all beings everywhere be free from pain and suffering. May our thoughts and actions in some way contribute to that. Namaste. Hi guys. Hi guys. Hi guys. Hi guys. Hi guys. They still think I'm nuts and they think that I'm teaching to nobody here, but they still get excited when I say namaste. Because they know I'm done and now they get to have me. Thank you all for being here. Maybe one of these days you can practice outside if you have a space where you can do that, or if your internet works in that range. It's kind of awesome.
Thank you, Rachelle.
Thank you, Melissa. Nice to see you.
Nice to